Why are we addicted to bad news? Because fear feels familiar. Because chaos makes more sense than calm. And because peace doesn't scream, but disaster does. Sometimes we scroll through destruction like it's entertainment. We binge the bad. We dive headfirst into tragedy, click after click, like we're trying to find something, but never really do. We never find it. That's why we keep going, because you're searching for something, but you're not finding it. But it's deeper than just a media problem. It's a heart problem. It's about survival, pain, trauma, and the search for meaning in a loud, chaotic world. This isn't just about headlines. This is about us. Why are we drawn to what hurts? And this is why. The brain is wired for survival, not peace. Our brains evolved to scan for threats, what's wrong, what's dangerous, what's broken. That's called negativity bias. It's why one negative comment hits harder than 10 compliments. Disaster grabs our attention because the brain believes it might be essential for survival. Peace is optional. Danger is priority. Your brain's first job isn't to make you happy. It's to keep you alive. That's why it constantly scans for threats. You're not crazy for noticing the bad faster than the good. It's biology. But here's the catch. What once protected us in the wild now traps us in fear. So when disaster hits your feed, your brain says, that's important. That's urgent. Pay attention. Peace whispers, but fear shouts. Negativity isn't attractive because we like it. It's attractive because our brain says, you need to know this and make sure that you are aware of this so that it won't happen to you. Or else you won't make it. Pain recognizes pain. People who are hurting are often drawn to stories of other people hurting. It validates what they feel. Misery, in a strange way, offers companionship. Seeing chaos outside sometimes mirrors the chaos inside. There's comfort in realizing you're not the only one struggling, even if it's toxic comfort. If you've ever been hurting and feel strangely drawn to dark stories, you're not alone. We seek reflections of our own suffering in others. It validates us. It makes the loneliness feel less lonely. You don't watch chaos because you enjoy it. You watch it because it feels familiar. Because somebody else's brokenness helps you feel seen in your own. We crave control in a world that feels out of it. When you scroll disaster, you feel like you're staying informed, which gives the illusion of control. If you know what's going wrong in the world, maybe you can prepare. Maybe you won't be caught off guard. But this can spiral into intense burnout because you're constantly trying to figure out and make sure that you are aware of what's going on. Constant news consumption feels like action, but it's usually anxiety in disguise. Scrolling through crisis feels like you're doing something. Like I'm make sure I'm doing something. That's what you're telling yourself. Being informed gives a false sense of power. Like if we just know enough, maybe we can protect ourselves. You think that's true? But that constant feed of fear, it's not control. It's anxiety pretending to be awareness. It's a nervous system that never gets to exhale. Negativity is addictive. Your brain gets hits of cortisol and adrenaline every time you scroll something alarming, and your body gets used to that high. News outlets know this. Social media knows this, y'all. Algorithms reward outrage, fear, and drama. Why? Because those things keep you clicking. Doom scrolling gives a quick hit of adrenaline. That becomes addictive. So you stay stuck in a cycle of consuming that very thing that drains you. They're not here to soothe you. They're here to sell your attention. And the fastest way to do that is through fear. And a lot of us are stuck in that cycle. Good feels fake, bad feels real. Ain't that something? In this world today, it definitely feels like that with many things. So many people are trained and programmed to think the opposite than what it really is. When life is hard, hope can feel naive. Positivity starts to sound like a lie, but pain, struggle, that feels honest. That's why people often find dark stories more relatable. That they're not reaching for a high, they're trying to sit in something that matches the weight they're already carrying. When you've been through hell, optimism can sound like denial. You don't trust everything's gonna be okay. When you've seen it all fall apart too many times. So you cling to the realness of pain. You'd rather sit in sorrow than reach for a hope that might disappoint you. And that makes dark stories feel more true than light ones, even when they're not. Crisis becomes a coping mechanism. Some people become emotionally numb unless something dramatic happens. So they chase intensity like a fix. If life feels dull or helpless, watching disaster can feel like feeling something, like you feel something. It's not healthy, but it's real. Some people don't feel alive unless something is going wrong. People actually feel this way. It's a trauma response. If your nervous system has been wired for chaos, peace feels like boredom. Stillness feels like emptiness. So you chase drama, not because you want to, but because it feels normal. Disaster becomes your baseline. That's not dysfunction, that's damage. And there's no off ramp. When you're caught in cycles of depression, anxiety, trauma, or even just chronic stress, your system starts to normalize negativity. You don't even realize you're seeking it. It just becomes the atmosphere you live in. You keep scrolling not because you want to, but because you don't know what to do with silence. When negativity becomes your environment, you stop noticing it. You scroll through heartbreak and horror like it's background noise. It's nothing. That's just what you're doing. You're scrolling. It's normal to you. Because silence feels unbearable. It forces you to feel your own pain. And so many people do not know how to sit and feel their own pain because they'll break. They don't know how to get through that. It's too heavy. It's too strong. And you just don't know how to handle it and how to deal with it. So you keep watching. You just keep doing the same thing. You keep numbing yourself until the noise becomes your new comfort zone. We don't just scroll disaster because we're curious. We scroll it because we're wounded. Because we're wired to fear. Because we're tired of false peace and afraid of false hope. But here's the truth. You were not created to live in panic, y'all. Like, we gotta figure this out. We gotta get through it. We're not created to have to deal with this. You are built to feed. You are not built to feed off of fear. And even if pain feels familiar, it's not home. So maybe the bravest thing you can do is turn it off. Get away from it. Look at something positive. Not because you don't care, but because you care enough to choose peace. Because your soul deserves quiet. And not all silence is empty. Some silence is sacred. Let's sit with that. Let's get through that. Let's work through that. I'll see y'all in the next one.